1985 Ford Granada Ghia X Estate. Start by having a look at the bodywork. As you can see, it sits lovely and straight on those wheels. It's being a Ghia X, you've got things like driving lamps and some extra toys which will go around point out as we go around. Put it down this side of the car. You can see, nice and straight. Panel gaps are all good. This arch is all nice and solid all the way around. We have a little bit of a mark in the paint here and a little bit of a crack just down the bottom there, tiny one. Good wheels and tyres on this one. I could do with a good clean, which we'll do, but they've not been curbed. Nice tyre with plenty of life left in that. Very small scratch on this top of this piece of the wing there. But other than that, all nice and tidy. The rubber trim is nice and straight and clean. It's not dry or cracked or anything like that. And this lower half is tidy all the way along. Doesn't look like it's been jacked up wrong or anything like that. But a small scratch just in the paint, just sort of below the wing mirror. Wing mirror itself is nice and tidy. A-pillar is good. Little chip just into the gutter there. Glass on this side is all nice and tidy as well. Rear driver's side door, all good. This arch again, nice and clean. You've got a little bit of a chip just down the bottom there. And there is a little bit of a mark on the window pillar, which I think is a pretty common thing. It's just the sort of black veneer-y stuff sort of peeling off. Again, panel gaps on the back door and everything are nice. Another good wheel and tyre, and then this rear quarter is all good. I'll have a look under there as well, that's nice and tidy. Round onto the back, you can see the bumper sits nice and straight. Obviously you've got your 2.8 Ghia X badge in there. It does have a tow bar with electrics. The chrome work is nice. Could do with maybe a little bit of a polish, but generally it's pretty good. Just round this rear window. Again, that's all nice. Obviously, if you remember from back in the day, the Ghia X was the one to have. If your dad was driving a Ghia X, he was the one on the street. He was winning. Look up this passenger side again. You'll see nice and straight. This rear quarter, all good. With a nice, tidy, solid arch. Not really any sign of corrosion or anything like that anywhere on this thing. Another good wheel and tyre. This rear passenger door. There's a bit of a chip in the door shut, which you can just see when the door is actually closed. You can just see it. It'll be quite an easy thing to touch in, to be fair. There's a very small scratch, or very faint. I mean, you can't actually see it on the camera, to be fair. Front passenger door, a little bit of pitting in the door handle, but nothing much. Both doors and the sill and everything on there, nice and clean. And then this front wing, very small mark in the lacquer there, or in the paint even. And this front arch, nice and solid. Another good wheel and tyre. Round on the front, both headlights and indicators are nice and clean. Chrome works good on the front. You get these driving lamps on a Ghia X. And then it's had this lower lip, which I think looks really good. I'm not actually sure if it's original. It's marked with 2.8i on there. Whether it's a factory thing or an aftermarket thing, someone will be able to tell me, but it does suit the car. That lower valance above it is good as well. The bonnet, now the bonnet's a massive, big piece of flat metal, but it's lovely and straight. There's no ripples or dents or anything in it. We've got a small chip in the paint on the front here, sort of maybe 2-3 inches in size. But other than that, all good. Along the bottom of the windscreen, it's all good. The roof, again, another massive piece of metal. Nice and straight. We've got a little bit of cracking in the paint, just sort of above where the driver would sit. But other than that, all good. On there, it has had a paint job. I'm guessing it was like a burgundy colour at some point. If you notice on that chip, it's sort of burgundy underneath. And someone will correct me on the colour, but I would almost argue that that's pageant blue, potentially. But it has been done properly. Door shuts are all done, and inside the bonnet, I believe. And it has been notified with DVLA, so it's been done for a while. I mean, it's easy way to tell if we lift this flap in the carpet, yeah. So you can see, so that was the colour it was originally. Personally, I think the blue makes it stand out, but again, it's personal preference. Nice clean door card on the driver's side. Obviously part of this Ghia X trim, electric mirrors, electric adjustable seats, heated front seats, heated rear screen, and a bunch of other bits which we'll list in the description. You've got this brown cloth interior. It does look sort of stained on this camera, but that is just the shadows. It is a nice, these bolsters are really good. There's a little bit of sagging on the in the fabric, but to be fair, a good steam clean would tighten most of that up. It's still nice and comfy, nice and soft. There's no rips or tears. Carpet set's good. Got no funny smells or anything in here. Headlining's good. Nice clean door card here. Again, this back bench nice and clean, nice and tidy. Backs of the seats are good. A couple of little marks in the carpet. That's to be expected. It is 37 years old now. And again, a massive boot on the estate. So all the trim around the edges is good. We've got this rubber mat, but if we lift that, you can see the original colour. And then another plate for towing there. Full-size spare, which looks like it's never seen any real action. Jack and things in there, but the boot floor is nice and clean. Nice and solid all the way across. As is sort of the underside of the boot and things like that. Another good door card. Backs of the seats on this side are good. And again, the rest of this bench is nice. There's a little bit of a mark just on that top piece there. Again, that looks like it would clean out, to be fair. Nice clean door card on the front passenger. You've got electric adjusting on this side as well, which is nice. Obviously the Ghia X was the highest spec, but it was pretty good by general standards for 85. If you stand it up against a Jag or something of the same era, it pretty much holds up, Wood on the dash is nice. Manual car, good wear on the on the gear knob. Steering wheel is not exactly abused either. It's nice and tidy. It's showing 59,622 miles. If you check the description, we'll list what we've got in the way of service history and things like that, so we know where it's been and what it's done. Get that bonnet open. Have to excuse the dodgy camera work. And again, like I say, the paint job's been done properly. Inside the bonnet's been done. The underside of the bonnet, which a lot of people kind of neglect. In and around all these shits has been done properly again. Inner wings look nice and clean and tidy. No sign of any real corrosion at all. Ford stamp battery as well. That's probably quite a rare thing on something like that these days. Obviously 2.8, that's a Cologne engine. It's a good reliable engine. Loads of parts still for them. Find them in the Capris and things like that. This was driven to us and it does start on the button. There you go. Starts on the button, quite happy. It started when it got here when it was hot. It's now stone cold. Go around the back, you'll see nothing nasty coming out the back. All nice and clean around there. Like I say, engine's nice and smooth. So there you have it, 1985 Ford Granada Estate Ghia X 2.8. If you've got any questions, please get in touch. Thank you.